Augusta leaders caught off guard as thousands are wondering when they'll be able to drink their water.
This is quite frankly the first time that we've had this large of an area affected.
We're on your side with what's next for schools and hospitals and what the utilities director has to say.
But I think the likelihood of any danger is almost non-existent.
We may know soon. Within the next hour, we expect to get the results from the first round of testing.
But regardless of those results, Richmond County schools are canceled again tomorrow. All this is thousands of phone calls flood into city offices trying to find out where and how long this will all last.
Utilities Director Tom Wiedmeyer tells us we were notified within hours of the state telling the city. He says the water system automatically shuts down when it notices high levels of cloudiness, and that happened twice Monday night before workers restarted it Tuesday and noticed cloudiness in the water that could come to you. Wiedmeyer says the state told him around 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon to issue this boil water advisory. He did not mention it to the city until about 5 o'clock when he says he was sure of which areas would be impacted.
And the question a lot of you were asking us, why didn't the city let me know sooner? Cody O'Hara was one of the first reporters to find out about this advisory. He went to the city's top leaders to find out if they were prepared.
Laura, it's the largest water problem the city has ever seen. Some city leaders say that it shows them that things need to change.
Obviously, we need to adjust some things. We could have done some things better.
Augusta Utilities Director Tom Wiedmeyer says he didn't expect the boil water advisory to have this big of a ripple effect. Anytime
the government issues a boil water advisory, especially where there's not been one in a long time, it's gonna cause a lot of concern from the citizens. Not only concern, but also confusion. Commissioners and the city say they've received thousands of calls. Some even went to the treatment plant for answers. I think we're going to, after this is all over, sit down and look at what we could have done better and make those adjustments. Notifications being posted from the state, Augusta EMA, the Utilities Department, the Health Department, even the mayor and city administrator all started rolling in yesterday evening. Throughout the evening, all those agencies continually updating social media, but the questions continued to pour in. Wiedmeyer says the process needs to be more simple. But what should be done? That's a good question, and I don't know the answer to that right now. Augusta EMA posted notifications, but is leaving the media updates up to Wiedmeyer. We contacted EMA to do a more targeted notification to the critical facilities.
I have complete confidence in the staff and the leadership at the Utilities Department.
But do you think we have the best notification system?
Yes, I do.
But Wiedmeyer says the system needs to be adjusted.
I think the initial response was adequate. We look forward to, again, continuing to monitor and review this situation.
Now, no matter what those results are, which have now been pushed back till after 7 o'clock, this boil water advisory for most of Augusta will continue until at least 8 o'clock tomorrow morning.
And I think what's probably on a lot of people's minds, Cody, what if they do find some sort of bacteria in those samples? What's the next step?
Well, this boil water advisory would be extended. Now, one thing to note here is that the city still doesn't know what went wrong on Monday night and Tuesday morning, so they will have to fix that and figure it out.
So they aren't even really sure if this is a bacteria problem or what it could possibly be. But we also got a lot of calls from people yesterday saying they didn't know until they saw it on the news. They never got those phone calls.
A lot of people confused, including our newsroom. We didn't get the public notice that the Utilities Department said that they did send out. Now, the EMA was sending out those notifications on Facebook all evening, but a lot of people were confused if they were impacted. The map was unclear at times. There was some clarifications made. Now, most of those people that were impacted and that knew about it were signed up through the EMA's notification system.
And timely information is critical in a case like this. Cody, thanks. There is a link on our website now to sign up for Reverse 911 if you haven't done that already. The Augusta-Richmond County Emergency Management Agency also has this new interactive map to check on your status. You can type in any street address to see if you are under this advisory, and we've included that link on our website, WRDW.com.
Boy, it was cold out there today. We started out in the 20s and ended up at 40 degrees for a high temperature. And right now temps have fallen back to the 30s. It's going to be a cool and blustery night. 38 is the current temperature in Augusta. You're at 34 in Aiken, just above the freezing mark. As far as the precipitation out there, there are some snow showers making their way into the North Georgia mountains, but those should dissipate as they move southward. We are expecting mostly clear skies tonight and gradually cooling temps. We're going to be below freezing before you know it, and the winds will be kind of strong tonight, up to about 10 to 12 miles an hour, so giving a bit of a wind chill out there too. We'll break down the numbers coming up.
A very chilly morning tomorrow, but you won't have to get the kids all bundled up for the bus stop. If you were just joining us, we do want to let you know Richmond County schools are closed again tomorrow. The school system says they don't want to put any of their students at risk while they are still under that boil water advisory. They have not decided on makeup days for today or tomorrow, but we'll be sure to let you know when they do.
Continuing coverage now from the health team, the boil water advisory is affecting our local hospitals too.
Our surgeons are actually using bottled water to wash their hands.
Christy Etheridge on your side tonight with what hospitals are doing to make sure everyone stays safe and clean.
Some people say, well, it's boiled water. Is it really that big of a deal? But in a healthcare setting, it is a very big deal.
From surgeries to washing hands to having a swig to wash down medication, hospitals use water just about everywhere you turn. This morning, a semi-truck full of bottled water pulled up to AU Health to make sure the 430 patients at their hospital had enough. Across town, Doctors Hospital also brought in resources.
We're bringing ice in from the outside, and we're making sure that we have plenty of it because it's not just for drinks. Of course, we use it for treatments here as well.
Like this post on Facebook. A woman in labor couldn't get ice chips because of the boiled water advisory. Ice is not the only thing off limits while the advisory is in effect.
They won't be able to drink out of the water fountains. They won't be able to use the Coke machines that we have in the cafeteria or at Subway or around the hospital, and they won't be able to use the coffee machines that we have.
Hospital leaders say all those things are inconvenient, but for the most part, the hospitals are operating business as usual, especially when it comes to emergencies.
In an emergency, nothing has changed.
Only a few elective surgeries have been rescheduled. Leaders at AU Health say they were able to stop using that tap water within minutes of being notified. And they told me you have to remember they're prepared for just about anything. So they have a plan for everything.
Which is great to know. But this is a little different from children and adults. What about the babies and baby formula at the Children's Hospital, for example?
Yeah, they were prepared for that too. Formula requires sanitized or distilled water to be mixed with that formula, and the Children's Hospital of Georgia says they have plenty of it. They had it already saved up in stock. So, and they also have enough bottled water in general just for everybody to last at least through the end of the week.
Which is good to know. A lot of moving parts in a story like this one.
A lot.
Christy, thank you.
Such a ripple effect this has had on everyone, and as you get ready to head out the door for dinner, nearly 500 Augusta restaurants are affected by this advisory too. Liz
Owens on your side now, live from Farmhouse on Broad Street. And Liz, what do they have to do to keep the doors open there?
Well, restaurants here either need to put an emergency plan in action or close their doors. And believe me, health officials are holding these restaurants accountable. Environmentalists going to all the restaurants. One was here earlier at the Farmhouse to give the clearance they were good to open the doors.
Brad Ushery did not want to end up in hot water.
It's just a little bit of a challenge when you just can't turn the faucet on and get your water.
Which is why he is boiling water now.
All the water we're having to use in the kitchen has got to be boiled for over a minute.
Ushery was able to open Fat Man's Cafe in time for the lunch crowd, but only after turning off the soda fountain and ice maker and making a trip to the grocery store.
Almost $100 in bottled water, so we got enough to last us a while.
Fat Man's Cafe is one of hundreds of restaurants directly impacted by the boil water advisory. Each has to follow an emergency plan if they choose to open, which includes boiling water, turning off drink machines, and using hand sanitizer.
It's the overabundance of caution that we're operating from. Is the water's not proven to be unsafe, but it's suspect.
Some restaurants did close today.
Oh, we're fine now. We got a plan in place, and we just rock and roll now.
The hard part is over for him, at least for now.
And again, I told you environmentalists are going door to door to these restaurants. About 14 environmentalists going to all 500 restaurants is what they're trying to do. Now, if you are a restaurant and you have not talked to an environmentalist or had one come by your restaurant, you need to call the number on your screen to get the directions of what to do.
All right, Liz, interesting update there. Another thing to keep in mind if you're heading out to eat tonight, call that restaurant directly just before showing up because you never know.
It's exactly right. The health department does not have a list of what's open, what's not open, so just don't even waste your time calling them. Just call the restaurant that you plan to head to.
In just a few minutes, we continue our team coverage into who's feeling the effects of this Augusta boil water advisory.
And traffic news, I-20, the state line has been a big headache the past couple of days. We're on your side with what you can expect tomorrow.
Thousands in Richmond County under a boil water advisory affecting the entire county.
Testing over 60 locations around the city to see if your water is safe.
Schools closed, businesses shut down, hospitals taking emergency steps.
Between 400 and 450 restaurants that are directly impacted by this.
What's in the water? How long will it last?
The supplies are dwindling, but there's still some here.
Richmond County, all public schools closed today.
News 12 is getting you answers on the air, online, anytime, every time. News 12 on your side.
If you were just joining us, we want to make sure you know Richmond County schools are closed again tomorrow. The school system says they don't want to put any of their students at risk. They have not decided on makeup days for today or tomorrow yet. We'll be sure to let you know as soon as they do.
All this has people traveling all over the area to find clean water.
A lot of people are stocking up on bottled water, but as Logan Nestor reports, others are getting creative with the search.
Grocery stores have been busy for the last 24 hours with people scrambling to pick up bottled water or water in jugs. But if you go to a grocery store and you can't find water, there's still another option to get safe water in Augusta. It's clean, cold, and free.
My wife told me about it this morning. She called and had to board.
Monroe Ginn isn't alone. With a large portion of Augusta under a boil water advisory, people are lining up at Flowing Wells Spring to fill their jugs and bottles. The natural water source isn't affected by the advisory.
This thing's been around there since my grandmother was around, and she always talked about it, and my dad, and so I just come over here and get my water.
As grocery stores in and around Augusta struggle to keep water in stock, this pipe pumps water constantly. When that bottled water dries up, people stream to Flowing Wells.
So now with this crisis they're going through, it doesn't bother me. I just got to get more water.
Daniel Bussey says he's ready, whether or not the stores can keep water in stock.
I stay ready. Any crisis can come up like this, and who knows, it might last 2-3 days.
If you don't want to drink spring water, some grocery stores do have some water in stock at last check. This Kroger behind me on Washington Road said that they were totally wiped out last night, got some more in today, and still have some in stock as of last check. But of course, a lot of folks will be getting off work and coming to see if they can buy some water. Reporting in Augusta, Logan Nestor on your side.
Interesting, Logan. Thanks so much. When we're not on the air, we're always online and on social media. Any information about more school closures and the latest on this advisory, all on our Facebook pages, Twitter pages, and do be sure to download our News 12 app for updates as well.
Switching gears to traffic news, we are on your side with an update on the I-20 bridge repairs. DOT says they are finished repairing the Savannah River Bridge after an 18-wheeler crash. That means they will not be back out there tomorrow. Everything is fixed. We're told crews will be back next week to do work on the other side of the road.
And Doug Bernard Parkway back open tonight after a train derails there early this morning. Investigators closed down that road near 4-H Club Road after 3 cars from the train ran off the tracks. We're still working to find the cause of that derailment. Cold temperatures and a stinging wind, but no flurries out there today, Kevin.
Yeah, we got that going for us. You're right, Richard. We do have some cold temps. Tonight, 23 for a low into Thursday morning, and then a little bit warmer than that into Friday and Saturday, but another cold blast for Sunday.
On your side with your hour-by-hour forecast.
Well, it probably wouldn't be hard to convince you. Today was the coldest afternoon we have had all season. The high temperature was bad enough. That was 40 degrees. That's 20 degrees below normal. But we had winds that were gusting between 20 and 30 miles an hour, so that wind chill temperature stayed at or below freezing all day long. Now, high temperatures over the next few days show some improvement. Back to the lower 50s, even some mid 50s, but then Saturday night into Sunday morning, another cold blast. A high of only 42 on Valentine's Day and only in the 40s on Monday too. So we're going to go up a little bit with those temperatures in the next few days, but then right back down for the latter half of your weekend. Right now it's cold and dry out there. 38's the temp. We got clear skies. West winds about 10 to 15 miles an hour, and that wind chill temperature, the feels like temperature, is still below freezing. It feels like 30 right now in Augusta. Got some west to northwest winds. These are your wind gusts right now across the region, anywhere from 20 to 25 miles an hour across the area. Now we're going to see these winds perhaps get over 30 miles an hour at times over the next few hours. There's a lake wind advisory in effect for much of the CSRI, including Augusta Aiken and off toward Columbia as well until 11 o'clock this evening. Boating not recommended really with those choppy waters. Now what's happening on the large scale here, we have low pressure to our north, high pressure to our south, and it gives you the squeeze play. It causes these strong northwest winds which really are kind of spinning up some snow showers out there, and the North Georgia mountains could see some flurries before they know it. North of Atlanta, a couple of snow showers rolling in, but those should dissipate as they move down southward past Athens later on this evening. So not expecting any precipitation here in our viewing area, but it's not out of the question that our northwestern counties, perhaps up near Washington, you might see a flurry perhaps later on this evening, but you see it trying to move into the Atlanta area right now. That is expected to dissipate as it moves southward through the next several hours. Otherwise, clear skies are happening right now across the region. Look at Futurecast here. Hour by hour, we're taking you to tomorrow morning with temperatures in the 20s, waking up in the 20s again. Yes, these winter temperatures are getting a little bit monotonous here. A little bit breezy out there tomorrow, but not as windy as today, so some improvement there. Lots of sunshine for your Thursday. And by this time tomorrow, 6 p.m., we're looking good. 50 degrees. That's 10 degrees warmer than today. Tomorrow night, some clouds roll in into Friday morning, and then temperatures will be in the 30s to start your day there, so a little bit nicer. The clouds will give us, well, actually not cooler temperatures because we'll have a nice southwesterly breeze giving us highs in the 50s on Friday. The rain should stay on the coast to finish off the week, maybe some snow mixing in north of Myrtle Beach. So hour by hour forecast for tomorrow shows temperatures starting out in the 20s, eventually making our way into the 40s by noontime, with those west winds only up to about 10 miles an hour, so not as windy tomorrow. And then temperatures should hit the 50s, and once again, that's about 10 degrees warmer than what we had today. So good after that cold start tomorrow. Once again, that low is right there. Tomorrow morning, 23 degrees and a high of 52. And yes, the key for tomorrow is less windy, and there'll still be some sunshine out there, so not a bad day. But all of these numbers are below normal. We should be pushing 60 degrees this time of year, but none of that anytime soon until maybe a week from today. But once again, that weekend looks okay to start and then cold to finish.
All right, thanks for that, Kevin. If you are just joining us, we want to let you know all Richmond County public schools are closed again tomorrow. The school system says they don't want to put any of their students at risk while they remain under that boil water advisory. They have not decided on makeup days for today or tomorrow, but we'll be sure to let you know when they do. Sports is next, and when the baseball season starts, we're going to have a handful of guys a phone call away from the big leagues.
That's pretty exciting stuff. One of them is Augusta Christian product Josh Whitaker. Whitaker's already been as high as AAA ball, but after a severe wrist injury, he's trying to work his way back. Kevin has more on what it'll take in all this day's sports.
The previous school we were at, Augusta Christian product Josh Whitaker has been in the minors.
On your sideline, sports.
Augusta Christian product Josh Whitaker has been in the minor leagues for 5 years now. When he heads to Arizona in a couple of weeks, Whitaker feels he's as ready as he'll ever been, both health-wise and mentally ready. That's a big thing. A year ago, he had wrist surgery. He never really trusted things were healed until late in the AA season. He still managed to hit a dozen homers for the Midland Rockhounds. Now the wrist is healed, and he's been doing everything normal and has an eye on making it to the show. Part of that is as a hitter, not to get too high, not to get too low. It is a long season.
You have to be really even keel throughout everything. Even, when you're the hottest hitter on the team, you can't be the cockiest hitter on the team also at the same time. And then when you're, going through a slump, you're the worst hitter on the team, you can't be the saddest person in the clubhouse, because that kind of, molds opinions about you as a person.
He learned quickly in his pro playing days he has to find a way to outwork the guy next to him. Whitaker realizes he could start back in AA. If it happens, hey, he'll see the silver lining and work his tail off to get to the big leagues. The goal today for teams: win once. That's what it takes to make sure you are in the state tournament. Ladies' Day in Grovetown. Evans taking on Warner Robins this afternoon. First quarter action. Knights dialing it up from deep. McKenna Lawrence hitting the three-pointer here. Then it's some nice ball movement. Kiana Nelson hitting from the outside as well. Warner Robins is good, though, for a reason. Lateria Mathis gets the bucket to go. This one was close. Evans falls to Warner Robins. Warner Robins wins it 48-44. College hoops tonight, both USC Aiken and Augusta in action. Jags on the road in Florida against Flagler. Pacers home against Clayton State. Augusta Prep girls soccer team is defending state champs. To the victors go the spoils, and they'll have at least 3 players go off to college and continue their playing days. McKenna DeGraff is one of them. Today she made it official and will kick at Mississippi State. She had her eye on playing at a big-time program all along and ended up having to play club ball in Atlanta to get there.
Oh, definitely. I wanted to play at a very big school and at a high level in the soccer world. It's a lot of sacrifice and discipline, because I would travel to Atlanta twice a week and then all over the country on weekends.
DeGraff will be on a loaded Cavalier squad again this spring as they go for another title. Finally, North Augusta product Matt Neesmith been added to the Ben Hogan Award watch list. That award is given to the top college golfer in the nation. Neesmith, now a Gamecock senior, already has numerous honors on his resume. This one would be pretty impressive as well. National Player of the Year potentially.
Fantastic.
That's kind of cool.
Good spotlight.
Casual.
All right.
Well, guys, I was just looking at the numbers for how windy it's been for the last couple of days. This is the windiest two-day stretch we've had in nearly a year.
My hair believes it.
And to go along with the cold weather, that's not a good combination. Luckily, it won't be as windy tomorrow, but it will be chilly. A wake-up temperature tomorrow morning around 23 and a high of 52, and then another cold snap for Sunday.
Definitely a chilly start. And remember, when we're not on the air, we are always online and social media. Any information about school closures, the latest on this boil water advisory, we continue to follow all that on our Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah, we expect those test results back sometime after 7 o'clock tonight. We'll let you know what's going on. You can also download our app, the News 12 app, for up-to-the-minute updates as well. It's all right there when we're not here. And that'll do it for News 12 at 6 o'clock. The CBS Evening News is next.
And we are back for News 12 at 11. We hope you are too. We'll have all the details on what they find from this first round of testing coming up at 11.